Hi, and welcome to the Green with Tiffany podcast. I'm your host, Tiffany Page, and in this show, we'll explore topics of sustainable living, all aspects of health and wellness, of people and planet, and how we're all interconnected. Join us on this journey to live better and more sustainably by improving our health, our families, and the world with the choices that we make. Well, hello. Welcome back to Green with Tiffany. I'm excited to be here. I'm your host, Tiffany Page, and I'm also your guest. That's right. It's just me today. I have had a lot happening. I took a little unplanned hiatus, and so I wanted to bring you up to speed on what that was about, because I'm sure everybody out there, especially with COVID, had a plan. And I think a lot of people have had to pivot away from their plan that they had, or something's happened to change that, both good and bad. And so, how do you handle life changes when things don't go according to plan, right? And so that's what we're going to talk quickly about today as I bring you up to speed with what's been happening. So, I started off the year launching my podcast. So excited. I'd been hoping to do it for a long time, and I had 9 episodes in the can, thought I was good to go. And then, right, something happens and there's a shift, and it just didn't allow me to record any episodes. It started with COVID, and I was actually okay. I was not down that long, and it was just interesting how it all sort of unfolded. But I think my worst symptom was the headache. Oh my gosh, the headache was so bad. It was like in the front of my head. It felt like the worst hangover I've ever had. But because it's so different for everybody, as you're sitting there waiting for it to take over, you don't want to do that. You definitely want to take your supplements. There is a protocol out there, even though it's not talked about so openly. But just like if you were to get a cold or start to get that little tickle in your throat, you would take vitamin C, you would take some of the homeopathic things, maybe, I can't pronounce it, that oscillococcinum. People swear by that. I take something called counterattack. So you shorten the duration of the sickness. Well, same goes for COVID. You can take vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc. There's quite a few things you can do to help shorten it and help the preventative of the symptoms that kind of expand as you go. So I definitely want to talk about that in a separate episode. So I was taking all my supplements. I actually had an appointment with the doctor the next day, luckily, which was just a coincidence. I had some blood work done. And so I called to say, you probably don't want me to come in because I think I have COVID. And they said, come on in. We've been treating people the whole time. So I was very lucky. And he was a functional medicine doctor. So that means he's a pulmonologist. So he's a Western medicine doctor, but then he also uses alternative methods. And that is a nice blend of both. You get the best of both worlds. I'm all about holistic care, and I will always choose holistic first, but sometimes it might take a little longer. So it just depends. You really have to be your own doctor out there nowadays. You have to know what feels right. You need to get second opinions, because you can't always know what the best route is for you. And you can't always wait for the doctor to tell you what that is, because they only know what they know as well. And if there's another alternative method that could be really wonderful for you, but you don't know about it and they don't know about it, you can't blame them for not knowing. You don't know either. So it's you kind of have to expand your horizon on what's out there and trust your gut, trust your intuition, what feels right. And there's a lot of options out there now. So I really like that he was a functional medicine doctor, and, he upped my supplement intake. He prescribed a round of ivermectin, which I know is very controversial, but it worked. It's not horse-based. It was actually created for humans first. It just happens to be something that you use in the veterinary world, but lots of medications are. I know people that have the vet version of a medication because it's cheaper. So I think the biggest issue with this particular drug is the amount, right? How do you prescribe it? What is the dosage? The dosage is the most important. And if you don't know and you're just taking what you think could be right, well, then that's not right. And that could be something that doesn't work out well. So if you know the dosage, then you're okay. And so anyway, I took it much better. The challenge was that my mom, who was staying with me to help take care of my Chihuahua, my little Lily, who's having health issues, she would not take it. So she took the supplements. She wouldn't take the ivermectin. She got online. She thought it didn't look good. She was worried about mixing it with her medication. And so she didn't take it. And she had different symptoms than I did, which is why I really think it was manipulated, because everybody has different symptoms. It's so bizarre. She didn't have a headache. I had the headache. I didn't have a sore throat. She had a sore throat. And anyway, so she kind of thought it was like COVID B&B. She got to stay at my house. She got to be waited on hand and foot. I was better over a handful of days. And she was good until she wasn't good. And then on day 10, it took a turn. And I didn't know if it wasn't getting better, that it would get worse. And so she progressively got worse. And I didn't even think to check her oxygen. But I called the doctor. We took her to my doctor, and I was very happy about that. And they put her on oxygen right away. Her oxygen levels were so low. I mean, we could have lost my mom. And so got her on the oxygen. We did some IV therapies, vitamin C, which is a great, in high doses, kills all the bad while keeping all the good. And they did put her on a steroid. They put her on prednisone because she had a pneumonia in both lungs, all 3 lobes. And so it was pretty bad. For some reason, she had a pneumonia before, years ago. So she's kind of prone to them for some reason, which is another thing. Your organs correlated to your emotions. So you never know when you have, here's an easy way to, when you have heart issues, has your heart been broken? And I know that sounds so cliche and silly, but think about that. What has hurt your heart? And now your heart has issues, right? And so lungs are grief, sadness. The liver is anger. So think about those when you think if you're having any health issues, what that might correlate to. So she was at my house for a long time. And in that time, I was also taking care of my little Lily, who also needed round-the-clock care. And I was taking her initially to the vet every other day, not that close, in Los Angeles, and was going to Glendale, which is about 40 minutes away. And then I started with a integrative vet, which again is the, functional integrative care is both a Western and Eastern, or Western and alternative method to treat. And so I started going there, which was a daily commute and even further, like an hour away. So between that, I was very busy between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm sure there's a lot of caretakers out there for either family members or parents that need help. And I know that it is no easy task. And, some people are better at it than others. I don't know that I'm necessarily good at it. You do what you got to do. You just do what you got to do. So, and I was so upset that she didn't leave, but I'm the one that gave it to her. So, I really wanted to make sure she got well, and I was determined. And so while that was going on, she also has a Chihuahua that was staying with us. And Peanut had her teeth cleaning appointment set up. So I usually go to a non-anesthesia cleaning. But if their teeth are moving, we have to take them to the vet, and they have to do the anesthesia cleaning, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do have a great guy that does that. So the appointment was set. It had been set for 3 months. And I thought, should I cancel this? Because I just have so much on my plate right now. But I thought, no, I'm already taking care of 2. What's one more? Just add it to the mix. It'll only be a few days that she'll be on pain medicine, because they probably knew she had to have a few teeth pulled. So off I went to take Peanut. And then we took another turn, and Peanut had an ulcer in her eye that I didn't know about, although it was brought to my attention that was something in her eye. I never looked at it, and I didn't see it right away. And I didn't think it was a big deal because it didn't seem to bother her. And her eye ruptured. And wow, that just definitely sent me in a tailspin, because I had to make some quick decisions and I didn't know. And the vet tells you that they want to do this very expensive eye graft, and they need to do that right away if they want to save the eye, or you can have the eye removed. But this is like, they make you want to make the decision right then and there. And I'm here in this parking lot at this vet that I've just met. They won't let you in the office, and you're sitting in your hot car or, on the asphalt in the parking lot. I mean, it was wild. And with everything already going on, I was just completely overwhelmed. And that's why I say it's so important to just take a deep breath and ground yourself, feel yourself, step back and try and calm yourself down while you make a rational decision, because a decision made out of panic and fear is not going to be a good decision. And so once I gathered myself, and definitely, I'm sure we all go through it. I was just like spinning out of control. Like, you can't believe it. You can't believe it's happening. Like, how did this happen? I took one for teeth cleaning and the eye ruptured. Like, what? So I decided let's take Peanut home, and we'll make a decision after. And that was a fine choice, but that wasn't a choice that was given to me. So that's why I say you have to be your own doctor. And I would definitely want to get into that. We're going to do a whole month of pet wellness and what that means, because there's a lot of information out there and there's a lot of other ways you can do things. And we love our pets, and our pets can't speak to us and tell us the pain they're in or not in. And we make these maybe hasty decisions just not knowing. So it all comes back to, making these choices, life not going according to plan, and where I've been for the last few months. So that's what was happening. And it really allowed me not one single second of free time. And that's okay, because I really think it's important to go with the flow. And I was able to get my mom to lose 20 pounds, help her get better eating habits. We were able to get Peanut's eye stable, even though it's fragile, but stable, very important. Lily is a whole nother story, but I was able to be there for her daily. And you never know. You never know what cards life's going to deal you, right? It's really how you react to them. And so I found a couple of quotes that I really liked, and I wanted to read you a couple of them. One of them was, "Your potential needs your attention today." I love that. So I'm getting back on. I'm moving forward, of course. This is very exciting for me. There's so much information I want to share with you. And next month is Plastic Free July. So we're going to be talking about plastics. My first guest, Rob Greenfield. Oh, very exciting. He stayed with me here in Los Angeles for his 30-day project, and I'm going to share that with you. And then August will be pet wellness. So we'll go in a little bit about that. And then, of course, down the line, I want to share the COVID story, as here in Los Angeles, I just heard that a lot more people are experiencing it. So yes, very exciting. Back on the horse here. And, they say everything will be okay. What is that saying? Everything will be okay in the end. And if it's not okay, then it's not the end. So you just keep on going. And when something goes wrong in life, you just yell, "Plot twist." I love that. And that's definitely not always easy to do, but just think about that when things don't go according to plan. Or pivot. That was for the Couch on Friends, right? Things are not always going to go as planned. So when things change, make them a part of the plan. And that's what I did. And so I gave my family my undivided attention that was very much needed, and put everything on hold. Luckily, I was able to do that. Even though I was just so worried that I just started something and had to put it on hold. But it's okay. You go with the flow and you come back to it, and be kind to yourself. It's easy to beat yourself up and be mad at yourself for whatever, that you didn't have it planned better, or that this happened, or why me, or whatever the story that you tell yourself. But know that it's okay. Know that there's always lessons learned, and to be good to yourself. And so I'm happy that you're here. Thanks for listening. I look forward to continuing on. And one lesson learned is to bank a lot of episodes so this never happens again. So we're going to do that. So thank you. Please subscribe to Green with Tiffany. We'll be moving forward with episodes every Wednesday. And I'm just thrilled to share this information with you, because there's a lot out there, a lot of amazing people to speak to that are doing great things in the world that I want to share with you. And I thank you for being here. Until next time, if there's anything in particular you'd like to hear, actually, or have questions about, please feel free to contact me. You can get me from my email, hello@greenwithtiffany.com, or you can find me on Instagram. Definitely send me a message. So thanks so much for listening, and have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please rate, review, subscribe, and share on Apple Podcasts. It would mean the world to me. You can find me at greenwithtiffany.com and on Instagram. Till next time, choose to care.